Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Dominion Gaming TV. My name is Wolf. I'm joined by Shockwave. How are you, good sir?
I'm good, thank you.
And today we're going to be casting some DGSL. Yes, that series that I was casting a long time ago in the group stages, but that was a lot of shit to cast, so I decided let's just do the round of 8 onwards. Let's do this first series though. It's going to be a best of 3, of course, round of 8. So yeah, let's introduce these two players. Take it away, good sir.
Okay, so up here in the top left-hand corner, we have our very own Narse from DGTV, and he's facing up against the blue Protoss player Valheru from AxS.
Alright. So, ZVP, both of our respective races. So we shall see how both of these players go. How do you open up on this map? I know this map is no longer in the map pool, but anyway, how would you open up on this map in this
From
matchup?
Narse, I should actually be expecting a hatch first. He's not doing any scouting, so we won't actually see the Nexus first here from Valheru, which is actually quite common on this map from Protoss as well. But it should be interesting because when this was done, both of these players were both gold level players, which is now silver, low, gold. But it should be interesting to see this kind of quality of player because Narse was expected to be one of the top tiered players, and he is actually one of the top tiered players in this tournament. I'm not going to give any spoilers on how it's going to end unless Jesse's already done that.
No, I haven't.
Oh, we're looking at a Forge expansion here from Valheru, but looks like, and spawning pool, so Narse likes to prove me wrong like always. 15
pool, 15 forge. Probably putting down that forge in reaction to seeing the spawning pool. More than likely going to be just going directly for, wow, okay, gas, alright, wants to be teching hard for something. But yeah, it's going to be more than likely just going to be saving up for that expo right now.
Yeah, we've got the expansion down here from Narse. Now, this 15 pool does say he wants to be a little bit aggressive, unless he wants to get the early queen, because he hasn't gotten any gas down for the metabolic boost, or the required banelings to do any kind of successful baneling bust. So he might have just gone for the earlier queens, which is fair enough on this map. It's a big map, so you might as well get your production out. Play a little bit greedy if you can. By the looks of it, the game's going to last a little while, so he might go for a bit of a greedy play, but we've still got this probe scouting around, and he's going to do a little bit of a nasty mineral harassment here to mess up his workers, but the Zerglings are out, and expertly split there by Narse, actually. But down here in the Protoss base, we've got the cannon and the Nexus, like always. So we're looking at a standard expansion-based ZVP game.
Well, to be fair, I feel that the pool was just a precaution as he decided not to scout. Just going to be that extra little bit safe for the time being, and probably just opting to get out that fast queen to repel any sort of early shenanigan BS that could happen, and also just having those extra Zerglings on the map to control that first probably 6-7 minutes of the game. Well, maybe a bit less than 7, but just to control that sort of the pace and making sure there's no proxy pylons and anything, as probably in about 40 seconds is roughly when a 4-gate would hit, but he scattered as well, and all that jazz. And also Valheru opting to go for the safer route, going cannon before Nexus, but it doesn't matter now, the Nexus is all finished up, but just delaying that Nexus a little bit longer, just to be that extra little bit safe, as he may have been a little bit afraid of what Narse could have done, considering his reputation in his early time on the sea region.
Yeah, so we've got the 7 next pool coming down here from the Protoss. Something I'd also like to quickly note is the spine crawlers coming down from Narse. So, as you said, he's definitely playing defensively. Back when this was played, it wasn't much of a norm for Protoss to be super aggressive in the early game, but now this playstyle from Narse is actually very effective because Protoss like to be somewhat aggressive once you get to silver gold on SEA. But we see the Ro8 warren about to come down. There we go, and an Evo chamber. Something I also like to do with this queen, if you get a pull before hatch, is to actually build the queen at the front base and then either put a creep tumor on the edge of your creep line or inject lava, then run it down to your natural, so you don't have to wait the 50 in-game seconds after that hatcheries popped, so you can just start injecting larvae into it straight away. But
we do see 2 additional gateways and a robotics facility coming down as well. Potentially, obviously, there's so many possibilities from this. Obviously, it could just be for, hey, I'm just gonna get this for my next step. I could be doing an immortal all-in. I could be doing this, that, anything. But for the time being, this is just standard stuff. Actually, 7 minutes and 30 seconds, and Thingamajigger has not been finished. That is, Warp Gate indeed has not been finished. So we do see the Immortal coming out straight away and not an Observer, so this could be a telltale sign that the Immortal all-in could actually happen.
Yeah, definitely telltale, because he's got 2 sentries down here on the low ground, probably to force field off from Zerglings, but he's got the Cannon and Zealot there on hold position, so he doesn't really have to worry too much. But now he's chrono boosting both the Warp Gate and +1 attack research in the 3rd base to Narse has just come down, the double gas at the expansion, so this is definitely a tech-style play that's being very defensive, because he's getting this double gas at such a late time from the Protoss. So this should actually be very interesting to see what happens. Narse has this Zergling scouting the 3rd base to see what's going on. He hasn't sacrificed this Overlord to see what's going inside the main base either, but we've got the Twilight Council sitting at the back of the base as well.
He is currently in the dark right now about what is happening in both sides. But to be fair, same with Valheru. Both of these players have no clue what their other is precisely doing. But they will, I guess, end up meet sometime soon in the middle of the map. We do have a Twilight Council coming down, probably just going to be using that to go straight into +2 attack while getting out these units as well. Valheru is actually floating quite a few minerals, might want to drop down some additional gateways, and a Ro8 Link Force just going to be moving out a little bit. Obviously, just to sit here and say, hey, guess what? This is my corner, bitch. But
sorry about that, guys. My phone went off. Very unprofessional.
Indeed. Charge is on the way, additional model, but a Hydralisk Dent as well. So actually, if a big wave of Hydras come out, this push could essentially be... oh wow, you should mute that, good sir.
Yes, but my screen's currently broken at the moment on my phone, so I'm just going to go throw it in the toilet.
Wow. 10 drones going to be coming out right here, right now. The 3rd base has come down for Valheru, sending the Zealot over just to kill it off, kill off that Zergling. And looks like that this initial Immortal all-in that we're thinking of isn't actually just going to be happening. It's just going to be going for the standard sort of Zealot Immortal Sentry sort of composition. Ro8 Hydra is going to be the name of Narse's game. Getting out the additional evolution chamber as well to get double upgrades, so you can get all those upgrades, carapace, and all of the stuff. 6 Hydras on the way as well.
Yeah, we can see from the composition here by Valheru, he is not as a Protoss player, not knowing much, but the fact that he's stopped the upgrade production and he's stopped his unit production as well, he's only just sticking with the Immortals, says that he's playing very defensively at the moment. Like, he wants to get up his 3rd base, he wants to start getting everything he needs to start getting a much better army, but he should be keeping these upgrades going, and there we go, he's getting the 2. But he's moving out now as well, so he's doing a 3 Immortal push. He might be doing a 3 Immortal push at the moment. He's just moving out the front of his base. But the creep spread from here, from Narse, is going to make sure that reinforcements get to where he needs them to be very, very quickly.
I do want to see a probe go with this if he does decide to move out any further, but for the time being I think he's just going to be standing here.
Here we go, he's getting the Archon, so he's definitely going to be planning on pushing out soon, especially now that he's got this Archon. And here we go, he's moving out. He's not bringing a probe, so he has no proxy, but he does have this observer here, so he can see the composition.
Narse knowing exactly the movement and current location of the army, and can only just assume right now where it is, and can see it himself. He's going to be moving in onto creep. He needs to be very careful though, because this force could quite easily get a good surround. And a massive force field actually trapping a lot of the units, but the Roaches and Hydras are just doing so much damage. Even though those were good force fields, there just wasn't enough. But no, the Immortal force from behind is just ripping through all those Roaches that were in the front there. More forces being warped in for both players. Valheru, I'm not sure if you realize that he did only have a pylon so far away. But again, so many... Oh god, no. The mothership core...
There's the mothership core gone down. Left that behind.
Unfortunately for Valheru, there's going to be no time warp, no recall, and no photon overcharge in any time soon. He is rebuilding that straight away, but we do see a potential counterattack coming in here from Narse, and actually a muta transition as well. Noticing the composition that there isn't much that can shoot up at this stage, so muta tech switch here could be devastating to Valheru.
Very clever to go for this muta tech switch. Yeah, he is looking to put some pressure on the Zerg, and he's got the troops to do any sort of damage as well. These Zerglings are going to cut off reinforcements. These Hydras are just going to plow through anything that comes at them, but these two attack zealots now are just ripping through them. One force field there, two force fields
good
there,
force field.
The army.
Everything there is just going to get ripped to shreds, and even though the Hydras are there, they are reinforcing Roaches as well, but another force field, and with these three Immortals, they're just going to do so much damage to the Roaches. All of the Roaches are going to go down at the moment, and this force doesn't actually do a whole lot other than kill two sentries and some zealots.
And he did manage the Immortal, and he took out the sentries, and those sentries were a big part of this Protoss army, because now he can't force field split the Zerg army anymore, and by the looks of it, he's not replacing those sentries either. He was very clever about that, because when that second force of Roaches came in, he realized there was still a sentry up, focused that down, and then immediately went for the weakest Immortal and focused that down regardless of how many troops he lost. So now he's got to replace the Immortal, he's also got to build Colossi, and now it's more than likely he's not just going to build sentries, because he's not going to realize that he lost those sentries in the battle.
But in comes flight of the 20 mutas into the main base of Valheru. Additional gates are coming down, but these mutas are going to be able to unpower these mighty quickly, and there isn't actually anything over here right now. The closest army is at the natural, but then just standing there, another pylon, supply blocking as well, so there will be no warp-ins. Storm is about halfway complete, as well as +3 attack on halfway. Going to be unpowering these three key tech buildings as well, delaying the Storm. Going to be going for the Robotics Bay, going to be killing that down, and also going to be going for the Templar Archives. Where is Valheru? He's only just responding right now. The mutas are going to be killing all these tech buildings and setting Valheru back so far. The mutas just doing so much damage. Going to be killing another pylon and delaying any more warp-ins and cancelling that one as well. This is almost over. A Ling run by as well at the third, killing off all of the probes. Valheru doesn't really know what he wants to do. He's just going backwards and forwards. He realizes he can't really attack with any of these things because he'll just get taken out. He could probably land some money storms, but at the moment his indecisiveness is just costing him big time.
There's the planetary nexus coming down, but once again, he's supply blocked. He's unpowering all these key structures. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, if I look at it by my account. Yeah, 10 warp gates unpowered. So he's only warping in off one warp gate at the moment. So he's got absolutely no way to bring in units. And now he's just panicking and going down mass cannons, getting rid of all that money that he had stored up from not being able to warp in. And this is the point where he should have actually run to Narse's base, because the only standing army here before these mutas showed up was just a handful of roaches and mutas. But here we go, we've got the massive Ling run by once again into the third base, going to take that out. The army is going to pull away to deal with this force at the third, but they're not going to approach quick enough, so this Nexus should go down by the looks of it. No, the Zerglings are getting pulled off.
The Lings are on attack move, and they weren't focusing the Nexus. The Nexus will survive for the time being, but while we're speaking about this, the mutas are still killing gateways in the main base.
If we head back to the main base as well, he's got another bunch of Mutalisks waiting. If he joins these into the main force, he can just go for this main attack. But he does have these 4 High Templar here, but they don't have Storms, remember, because he unpowered the Templar Archives before he could get Storm out.
That is indeed correct.
So these High Templar are completely useless. The best thing they can do right now, which is exactly what he's done, is warp them into Archons. And all he can really hope is that he takes out a lot of units, and he's going in for this death push way too late, trying to do a base trade. This is way too late, especially since these mutas are now pulling away, so he might actually have a chance, but we've got Lings, Hydras and whatnot. He sees the units walking into his base, and he knows he's just going to swing all his mutas back, hit them from the side, and this Protoss army doesn't look like it's going to survive.
Focus firing down onto the Colossus as well. All of these mutas coming in here is going to be killing anything that shoots up. Colossus going to be going down. No, actually opting to back away here, waiting for his other force to come in from the front. GG is called. Valheru leaves the game, loses the game, and Narse is going to take this series up 1-0.